Okay, mic check. 1 2 1 2. Mic check. Thanks, TJ. You are Mr. Reliable. Hey, KT. Sander, Ravi, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Be starting in a couple of minutes. Wow. Winter is over. Hey, welcome everyone to the Pro Trade Room Plus and ISM Manufacturing. My name is Lee Goldstein, the Trading Director for 10-Minute Trades. Please remember, all the trades we discuss are for educational purposes. Okay, first things first. ISM Manufacturing is not a family money trade. It has not passed testing. If you look at the DMM, it seems pretty clear. You know, sometimes there are alternate setups that are great, but this report has way too many performance problems that it just cannot be a family money trade at the moment. Second things second, everybody should go to www or just time.is. Make sure your computer is in sync. All right. Everybody's computer should be in sync, and you can check it at time.is. That's the place you check. And if it's not in sync, then you can download one of the tools in our trade room file folder, right? So don't forget, the tools are available. 2 files, D4 time and PT sync. And they both pretty much do the same thing. So I'm just waiting for everyone to get here. We're a minute early. Market's getting ready to open. Gold pretty bullish. $36 already. Sheesh. So I'm just setting up the news. Don't forget there is a 9:45 report that we don't trade. Final manufacturing. Look at that. Just was thinking of doing a gold magnet on the open. It's a good time to do them. Let's see if it breaks through the high. Certainly there's a good chance that it will. It's not a guarantee, but look at how bullish gold is. And I can't recall seeing a burst like that on the open in a long time. It's quite dramatic. And there it goes. Darn. Opens are a good time to trade magnets. Now look, it could fail. It didn't quite get there if you think about it. The high was 7. Well, it got to 4. It got to 3 and the target was 4, but it's not done. If it gets No, you know what? The target was 4. It got there. The target, it's there. It's there. Good magnet. Good magnet for any magnet traders out there. Good time to trade them. Something to keep in mind. Opens are good. All right, so let's talk about what to do on this report. This is extreme risk because the behavior of the report has been inconsistent. So let me show you. Let me turn off my crosshair. I checked my time sync. My computer's in sync. I do want to welcome everybody who's watching us on YouTube. If you hit the like button, that would be great. Thanks for joining us this Monday morning. I still can't figure out why my webcam, it shows up fine on YouTube, but it should also show up on our screens, and I don't know why it doesn't. Anyway, I only have so much time to mess with technology. Looks like the ES might make a new high also on these on this open. Okay, let's look at the DMM. First things first, like I said. We've had a report that has been a gold breakout for forever. Forever. It's been a gold breakout. And if you look at the DMM, the gold breakout is not working at the moment. Whipsaw after whipsaw after whipsaw. So what does that tell us? That tells us this is now a trap. Okay? But here's the problem, and here's the reason it's very high risk. The size of the moves is inconsistent. We've got 3 months of great traps with gold, with our current setup, okay? But what we don't know is what kind of move we're going to get today. We can't know for sure what the move is going to be, and that's nobody's fault. It's just the way it is. So first things first, I do not under any circumstances recommend you trade the gold breakout unless you understand it hasn't worked just once in 6 months. Okay. And there's been 5 whipsaws. So, it's not an attractive breakout. It doesn't mean today we can't get a perfect breakout. We could get one. We've also tested the ES trap trade, and the ES trap is not bad either. And we have the same problem. Now, I know what everybody's thinking. The ES has been breaking out and killing traps. We had 2 trap trades that were blown up last week by the ES breakouts. I I tested ES breakouts on this report, and it's just not that good. It's not that good. It had never hit both targets in 4 months. It's just whippy. It's whippy and it's not generating profits. So I certainly wouldn't trade full size ES on a breakout. I would trade micros, and it might be not a bad idea to trade micros, whatever you do on this report this morning, because of the uncertainty. If it has a big move, it could blow the gold trap. That's the problem. Let me show you what our concern is. So when we set up these traps, we always create our spike sheet, okay? I've just, let me try something. You see that gray screen? It's something in all my computers. Every computer I use is not running properly. It's crazy. Something on my computer that's installed when I'm running all the stuff that I'm running is creating those screen delays, and I've been working weeks. I can't figure it out. Let me see if I can open this with a different screen. All right, so you see the problem? We've got a 36 tick spike, 28, 32, and then in November. Now, I'm not so sure that November's correct because I tested November and I think Chantal made a mistake in November because November was safe as a gold trap. I don't believe it spiked to 84 ticks. But the issue is when you go to September, you're 65, you're 85 in August, 65, 96, 92. We don't know if we're going to be in the 30s and 40s or if we're going to be in the 60s and 70s. That's well in terms of the spike at the moment the news gets released. That's what we don't know. That's what creates the extra risk. Okay? Now this is nuts. I can't even close this screen, so I just have to wait until the darn screen closes. I hope it'll close or I'm going to have to do something radical. Okay, good. Oh, part of this is my problem. I did something wrong too. Okay, so back to what I would do here. The ES is a trap trade, all right? So again, you can do it on micros if you want. But I will tell you this, the gold trap was better. The gold trap offered more profit over the past 4 months as a trap trade. So I'm going to trade the gold trap. The ES, right click the chart, click on strategies, click on trap trade, and this is the ES side. So the tiers are 20 and 30. Now, for a little bit of extra safety, you could do the 22 and 32 if you'd like. I tested quite a few reports. 20 and 30 worked. If there's a giant burst, then we'll get stopped. That's what happens. Trap trades, we had some great trap trades last week also. PCE prices was a monster trap trade winner. So this report has been working as a trap. The thing we don't know, like I said over and over, we just don't know how big our news move is going to be. So I'm going to do 20 and 32. 20 and 32. That gives me the best chance of getting filled, and it gives me the best safety. And the stop is 20. I'm going to activate at 9, 59, 55. Position size 1 is a 1. That means one contract for position 1. Position 2 is a 1. That means one contract for position 2. 9, 59, 55 on the trigger time. The stop is 20. Tiers are 20 and 32. Tiers are orders. That's all it means. I've got it labeled ES Trap. And I'm actually tempted. It's hard to manage two trap trades. This also was a difficult trap trades to manage when I was testing. So as tempted as I am to do two separate trap trades in two different prop accounts, right now I'm just going to go with gold. So I'm just going to watch the ES trap trade. So I'm going to apply it. I'm going to OK it. And when I enable it, it'll give me my trap trade logo. The thing about the trap is make sure your chart is wide enough so you see the combine button. That's the final button available at the top of the chart. So make sure you see that button. If you don't see it, it means your chart is not wide enough. Okay? Now it's blocking the news result a little bit, but we'll be able to click on it and see what it is. Now on the gold setup, gold has all sorts of risk today because look, it's over $40. The only good thing, or not the only good thing, a good thing is that gold just tested the high. It pulled back a little bit, but it tested the high, so we should be able to see movement in both directions, which is what we want for a trap trade because we want to get filled in one direction and then we want to take our profit in the other direction. Okay? Now, unfortunately, I did not have a winning trade last night on Kaishin. And man, we should have taken that reversal. You know, Sunday night, I have to be honest, I don't really want to sit in the trade room for 45 minutes because that's how slow a reversal could be on a Sunday night. But we exited the trade early because we knew we got filled early and the news was positive and it really did work. I didn't think the reversal would work as well as it did. Anyway, just for transparency, I never like to hide stuff. Gold trap this morning. Our tiers are 25 and 40. The activation time is 9:59. 55. The stop is 25. So tier 1 is 25. Tier 2 is 40. And again, you can use 42 for a couple of extra ticks of safety if you want. Remember, what is the zone of safety? What does the zone of safety mean? I label every trade. The zone of safety means how big can the spike be when the news comes out and not blow through our stops. And the way you calculate that is very simple. You take tier 2 and you just add it to the stop. That's your zone of safety. So if our tier 2 is 42 ticks plus 25 is 67 ticks. If gold stays within 67 ticks on the first minute or so, then we'll probably have a very nice winning trap trade. If it just bursts 80 ticks, it'll stop us right out. If it pops 50 ticks and then just keeps moving up, it'll stop us out. But more often than not, that is not what happens. Okay? It doesn't usually do that. So it's labeled GC trap. I'm trading it in my Bullinox account. Gold's really pulling down. Very big pullback. Very common gold behavior also. That I think is positive because it leaves there's room on both sides, up and down, for our trade. So I don't mind seeing that pullback. The gold setup again is activate at 9:59:55. My time is Eastern time. You would activate your local time, okay, unless your computer for some reason is set up for Eastern time or the market time, the exchange time in Chicago. If it's easier and less confusing if you just have your computer set to your local time. Then you're just trading on your local time, okay? So 9:59:55 on our trigger time, 55 on the stop, sorry, 25 on the stop, targets, tiers of 25 and 42. Choose your account, label your trade, GC trap. And then there's two things you have to think about with a trap trade. And the things you have to think about is how scrunched up your chart is vertically, right? If it's too wide, you won't see your orders. If it's too tight, they'll be scrunched. You'll have 5 seconds to adjust them, so you don't have to panic. Key is you don't have to panic. That's the key. Don't panic. Come on. So right now we've got a GC trap and we've got an ES trap. And I think I'm also going to set up a reverse continuation setup on the gold chart. Gold has the opportunity to probably move the most. So I'm going to set up an extra strategy on my gold chart. I'm going to click JOBB or News Trader Pro, whichever version of the software you're running. And if you're running the newest version, you'll notice there's a new box, Advanced Trade Types. You'll notice when you look at the trade types, you only see three. They're the three we use almost exclusively. But there's a lot of traders out there that need all the other setups. Just click the Advanced tab and then click Trade Types, and all the trades are back, all the different styles. So don't think we took them away. We just trying to make it simpler. So I'm going to do a reverse continuation, just one position. So I'm going to turn off my second position. I think a 15 target is actually reasonable. A stop of 20 is probably what I'd be willing to risk. So I've got one position, one target, one stop. Target of 15, stop of 20. Everything else gets ignored on a reverse continuation. I'm putting it on the same account. Same account as I'm trading the trap, and I'm just going to label it REVCONT, apply it, and OK it. And when you enable a reversal continuation, you get your buttons instant long, instant short. Okay, instant long, instant short. And then I need to enable my gold trap. Okay, now on the testing, just so you know that we take the testing really seriously, I'll show you a couple of recent tests. So first thing I tested was ES breakouts. ES breakouts, they're really troublesome. Even though this one looks like it worked, you don't know for sure where this would have filled you because it was so fast. This was last month. It may have been a winner and maybe the only one I tested that was very good. Also, it wasn't so huge that it blew up the trap. So that's important to realize. Even though the breakout works, sometimes a trap can work also. That's common, actually. This was January's ES, and it was a whipsaw. Okay? January's ES was a whipsaw. December's ES, breakout. All right? These are all breakout tests. Whipsaw. Whipsaw that didn't hit the stop. Okay? So might have been able to survive that. All right? But still, not a good setup. And then I wanted to look at it again. It did not hit any targets. It just did a whip. But it was a small whip. So ES, not very promising on the breakouts that I tested. I tested more than that, but those are the ones I recorded for the trade room. Then I tested ES traps, and let's just make sure. I think I traded one other ES breakout, went down in November. Here's another ES breakout. Again, you just don't have good follow through. You have a complete change in direction. This is trap trade behavior. Okay? It's trap trade behavior. Month after month after month. Then I actually started testing the ES traps. And the problem with the ES trap compared to the gold trap is size of the moves. The moves are somewhat subdued on the ES, so you don't get a fill when you have a trap setting that should be good for the maximum number of months, but then you get occasional no fills. I'm just not sure today is the best day to shrink the tiers to try and get a fill. There's too much uncertainty to be aggressive. In other words, I'm not being ultra aggressive today. I was more aggressive in my testing than the setup that I put in. I definitely went for a little bit safer setup. Then we had November trap. The best ES trap was January. January had a perfect ES trap trade. It was really good. But the rest of them were really tough to get profit. You had to be patient. And even with gold, you had to be somewhat patient. Sometimes if you move your stop to safety very fast, here's what can sometimes be a dilemma with trap trading. Sometimes if you move your stop to safety very fast, you'll have a small profit and you will not catch the best move. And then sometimes when you move your stop to safety, it prevents a stop out. Now, you'd never know. There's no way to know. which is the right way. You could do all your testing, see how the report behaves, try to make a decision based on that. So a little bit of patience goes a long way on many trap trades. And then we tested December on the ES. Not great, not a great move. So you could see why I'm not all that interested in the ES trap trade. It does fill eventually and would have worked. You needed about 3 minutes. And then November I tested as well. We're getting close to the trade. So now the ES has sold off too. A lot of tariff talk, not great stuff. All right, so we've got about 3 minutes. I'm really just paying attention to gold and we're just watching the ES. So much news. These are, maybe some of the hardest markets we can ever remember because there's so much volatility in the markets that's not related to the reports. It definitely makes trading much more difficult. You don't want to be, stuck in a setup, right? You're waiting for orders to fill, and then a crazy announcement gets made about a new tariff, and that takes precedence to the report, and it could totally ruin a trade. Those are the risks in these volatile market times that we're in. And it also creates a little bit of havoc with the testing because the markets are more volatile. So it just makes it difficult. That's all. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying. Now the ES is sim on our test. So if your charts are on the wrong, if your chart trader is not on the right account, you won't see the orders. Okay? You will not see the orders. So you always have to make sure your chart trader is on the account that's chosen inside the software. Now, there was that previous report at 9:45, and it was bullish for manufacturing. The reports do not relate. It doesn't mean that ISM manufacturing will be bullish. There's not a correlation between the two reports. Okay, so there's the orders. The spread is good. Gold's very choppy. Very choppy. Be ready to cancel your outer tier if we get a change in direction. You could bring one target so it gets hit. You could bring it down. Okay, I got one target hit. I'll move my stop to safety now. Now, whatever it decides to do, I've got a safe trade. Okay? I've got a safe trade. I'm going to trail. Try not to get too close. Very choppy gold. That's absurd. It can't be uh, a $10 trade. It was more than that. I'll check. I'll check the. Oh, you know what? It was $160 because I was down 150. So I definitely was too tight on the trap. There's still profit right now if you're not out. I trailed too tight, which is my personal disease. The ES, you could see why I didn't want to trade the ES. The testing wasn't good enough. There just wasn't a certainty on the ES. We'll look at the video, but obviously the trap didn't work and we didn't trade it. So a lot of times the testing is um, key. You have to have faith in the testing. You have to have faith in the testing or you'll never take a trade. So we took the trade, we made 160. Okay, but I'm frustrated because you could see there was a better pullback than expected. And I just, when gold chops like it chopped, I felt it was possibly going to hit the low and hit our stop. So I was too aggressive with my stop. But you don't have to be out. You don't have to be out of the trade. You could still be in this trade, believe it or not. No joke. You could still be in this trade. It's possible. And we'll look at the video and I'll explain why. So, did anybody trade besides Dave? Did anybody else take a trade? Just curious. So, on YouTube, if you've been watching, hit that like button because where else do you get a great opportunity to see people trade the news for real? So, thanks for watching on YouTube. Now, I mean, what it looks like, it really looks like um, that gold, that gold is going to possibly go back and make another high. I don't care for the magnet now because it already did it. So I guess, Sander, my question would be, why didn't you trade MGC? That would be my question. Why not MGC as opposed to MES? Now, it's interesting that TJ says he got stopped on both. You could see the choppy behavior of gold. You could see the choppy behavior on gold. Let's take a look at the video. If anything, the news, look at the news. The manufacturing was extremely bullish um, on the prices, all right, but not the manufacturing itself. The manufacturing was actually negative. That negative manufacturing number may be what's helping to push back gold to the upside after it sold off on the previous report. And the fact that gold is so bullish today. Gold was so bullish today, is so bullish. The ES, look, it just the testing wasn't there. Um, so my thinking is if I was going to do micros today, I would have leaned towards gold because I was trading gold for real. So that's why if I'm trading gold for real, that would be the micro to trade because that means I have faith in the setup. And if I'm trading ES on SIM, that's the one I would avoid. That's how I would try to gauge what you trade. I mean, it helps you to decide, if you want to trade a report that's not working, right? Now, I think putting on MGC. MGC, it's probably too late. Magnet, 3 proximity, 2 pieces, offset 5, stop 25, putting it on the same chart. I'll take a long on gold if it hits that spot. I probably would. I probably would. If I didn't have to go, I would do it. So I put my charts on MGC. If you just want to watch it, you don't have to turn the magnet on automatic, which is purple. So let's just watch it for a minute while we go over the videos. Go over the videos. I want to thank everybody on YouTube. I'm going to close our YouTube stream. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Keep an eye on your email and on your notifications for our next stream. We are probably streaming the jobs report on Friday. That'll be our next stream. So thank you for joining us. If you hit the like button on your way out, it'd be nice. Thank you. Okay.